Hello, everybody. My name is Kashi, and welcome back to the Groom of Gallagher Mansion. Now, it's been a bit, and I'm sorry about that. I started playing just joking the demo, got a little wrapped up with that. Finally bought this game, which actually surprised me. It was only $4.99 on Steam. So, if you're a broke hoe like I am, and you only have a few bucks, and you like this kind of style of game, then definitely give it a shot, or play the demo first and then see if you like it, or you can just watch me earlier play the demo. Check out those videos, especially if you have no idea what's going on and you need a refresher. Well, anywho, here's the verbal refresher. So our character's name is Kashi, because that's us, and we play as a character who is basically, well, forced to come to this mansion because Taylor, who we seem to be his only friend, is basically a piss baby and is like, well, we need proof of ghosts because the student body says that we're not worthy enough to be using campus space, which really it's just the two of us. So yeah, we kind of are taking up space, especially when we could just be in our dorm room having our meeting. But like I said, he's a piss baby who really wants to be special. He really wants to stand out and just doesn't take no for an answer. So he basically forced us to dress as a groom, come here, do a little ritual of, oh, woe is me, I got left at the altar, to summon this ghost who is basically, well, he reminds me of Jack from Sunny Day Jack. But he's not Jack. Um, he basically touched us, not in the way that you're thinking. Yes, I'm disappointed too, but he basically knocked us out. We woke up in bed. Again, not how you're thinking, and again, I am disappointed too. So we went and found him in the study, and basically he's like, yeah, we're gonna get married. We need to go pick out flowers and cakes, and we're just like, okay, we're just gonna go through with this while Taylor is basically in a car somewhere listening in on a phone call. So let's jump back in it. Again, dem bar titties. As we walk, I re examine my surroundings. It really is hard to believe just how much of a glow up this place got. Hey, Takashi, how are we holding up? What do you mean by we? I'm the only one here. Splendid. I've always wanted to hold hands with the man I love. Elias casts me a sideways glance and blushes. I don't have the heart to tell him that I don't really mean it. Okay, first of all, you don't speak for us, and we do mean it. We passed through the foyer on our way to the other end of the manor. 2 hours I was knocked out for, huh? Elias is practically dragging me at this point. The set of hallways is almost identical to the other end, sans the glass double doors around the corner. Elias phases through so he can unlock and hold them open for me. What a gentleman! I love that. After you. I take a step through the doorway, entering a world of flora. Seems the greenhouse still works as intended. So, if I remember correctly, last time he said that he had a bunch of flowers from New England, and my brain automatically just jumped to Connecticut. You shuddered a little. Is there a chill, my dear? No, quite the opposite. Why, I'm surprised at how lovely the greenhouse looks already. Perhaps I'm exaggerating a bit. I can't even tell what plants used to grow in these planters. But my bouquet would be here. Elias could likely turn this from depressing to delightful before I could blink. Do you need any help restoring this greenhouse to its former glory? I did, but no longer. Behold, I watch Elias's eager hands dance upon the trellises, and without any more than a simple flourish, dozens of flowers, this time in full size and bloom, await my perusal. Voila, my dear, your flowers. I think I said voila, weird. I don't know, I can't always English sometimes, and that's okay. My eyes and nose are drawn to three flowers in particular, none of which should be growing on a trellis. An act of defiance, paranormal willpower, or simply Elias forgetting his botany? Man, I wish we had botany back in school. It would have been dope AF. A classic red rose. It seems to be a different variant than the one I brought with me inside the manor, though not a climbing rose. A dazzling orange zinnia. The color reminds me of the soda I bring to the club room, though that's probably the least poetic thing to think about right now. And finally, a cute bunch of lyre flowers, vibrant and pink amongst the other blooms. I've always enjoyed their cheerful presence whenever I pass by them. I really like the color blue, so I'm a little sad we're not picking blue flowers, but whatever, my choices don't matter, I guess. And there's more, much more, if these don't delight you. No, no, I think one of these shall delight us both. And which will that be, my dear? Um, I mean, we did say we like the lyre flower, or maybe it's pronounced lyre flowers. I don't know. The lyre flowers. They're so delicate looking compared to the others. I think they'll make a perfect, understated centerpiece. I see, I see. They may be delicate, but they're passionate. Lyre flowers, also known as bleeding hearts, Lady in a Bath, or even Venus's car, are flowers representative of a kind soul. They're perfect. And what other perfect petals may we pick for this bouquet? There are many assortments to select from. I trust you to choose well. Let me see. My hand gravitates towards a bunch of simple white flowers to go with the lyre flowers, while I ignore Taylor's childish whining over the earpiece. Taylor, shut up, we're having a moment. Ah, white poppies. They live in the realm of dreams and kindness and consolation. More white, white roses, something simple and basic. Flowers of purity, reverence, secrecy. My instincts lead me to a handful of tiny little purple pinpoints of petals. For an accent, I suppose. The stone crops are tranquil, serene, and a cure for a broken heart. Good choices so far? I mean, I'm pretty sure I could pick like the most wiltest of flowers and he would be like, beautiful choice. A frown tinges Elias's lips. Yes. I mean, did you want roses? Did you want to pick something? Did you want this kind of orchid? You sound unsure. Not just unsure, but almost on the verge of a panic attack. Though that probably isn't a good thing to say to him. They're very familiar choices to me, and perhaps familiar to you. Oh gosh darn, were those your flowers you had at your wedding? Oh, what bouquet did you carry to the altar before? He looks at me sternly, brows furrowed in concern. That's sternly? All right. I... Crap. Didn't think he'd actually ask that. Make something up. Truthfully, I can barely recall. They weren't picked by me. I can only remember a haze of blues and pinks through the tears. I'm so sorry. Perhaps that was too much for you at this moment. But I do think you are being hasty. The flowers are lovely together, but the lyre flowers are so dominant. A little too passionate. Let me choose one more, as a proper compliment. Please do, and take your time. Nothing will hurt you here. I will make sure of that. Uh-huh, sure you will. Shut up, Taylor. I look over the flowers as slowly as I can, hoping that I can find one that Elias won't freak out over. I mean, we could just be like, honey bunches, which ones do you want? God, who thought picking flowers would be so stressful? I'm honestly just choosing what looks aesthetically pleasing. Perhaps something with heavy contrast. Here's something, deep blue and sharp. I think this will have to do. Don't just be like, oh, this will have to do. I love blue. Dick. This flower, if you don't mind. Hey, what's going on, Takashi? Are you having a panic attack? Honey bunches, just tell us what you want. Like, use your words, honey. Just say what you want. Maybe not, dear? V. Ugh, I'm getting static again. The hell? You can say no. Violet. Takashi, status report. You're cutting out again. Something crashes to the ground and shatters like a meteor striking the mansion, and a spotlight shines on my regretful face. And the sun is out? The sharp rays of a light beam through the greenhouse glass, and all I can see is haze. Something is very wrong. Movement, shadows, outside a window. Dare I to look? I have to look. An archway, a gazebo, baking in the blazing sun. A lush garden with the promise of life. Sickeningly sweet scents hanging in the air. Alright, is he showing us a vision of the past? Like, is this one of his memories? Or at least how he remembers it? She brushes past me like I'm not there. Who is she? Who is she? Elias knows. Elias must know. Violet? She walks between the shadows cast by the trees, through the arch, under the gazebo. And still she's here beside me. Even so far away, she's still here. The wind catches her sun hat while the sun hits a single point on her bosom, reflecting right into my eyes. Violet's gown, Violet's trail. They stretch into a past that refuses to be forgotten. I look for Elias, wonder why I cannot see him, and call his name to the sea of green shrubbery. The garden cannot be asked to care. Violet turns her head towards the interrupter. I see. Elias crumbles towards the ground. Without thinking, I try to catch him in my arms to keep him from collapsing. Well, as much as one can keep a ghost from collapsing, at least. Takashi. didn't know I could catch you like that. Nothing remains besides myself, Elias, and the greenhouse. The day is gone, the garden outside is gone, and Violet, too, is gone. Hey, hey, are you there? Taylor's worried voice buzzes in my ear. Everything went static for a minute. Elias, I didn't mean to do anything that would hurt you. No, you didn't. I left those flowers there after all. You chose fairly, and you made a beautiful bouquet. I apologize for worrying you. Elias, go lay down, please. I'll redo the bouquet. I assure you that won't be necessary, but thank you. I should clean this up. We'll clean it up together. We work in a tense silence to tidy the greenhouse. I'm worried about Elias, though I wonder what sort of exhaustion ghosts can feel. Oh, and he's gone. My gratitude to you, Takashi. I'm afraid I must take a moment to gather my wits before I look for my grandmother's recipes. Do you want me to accompany you? I'm flattered, but a bit of privacy would be appreciated. I understand. May I look around the manor while I wait? Do I perhaps have a smartphone that I can look at memes? Elias stares past me, not answering for a moment. You may, so long as you stay on the ground floor, and please excuse the state of disarray the rooms may be in. He bows, and I return the gesture. Not long after, he phases through a wall, leaving me alone in the greenhouse. Okay, Takashi, you alone? Who was that woman? You heard something? I heard someone whispering through all the static. A woman, I think. Didn't sound like anyone I recognize. I think I met Violet DuPont. Is her spirit there too? It was like a vision, I think. I don't know. Just let me catch my breath. Yeah, take your time. My steps feel heavy as I return to the hallway. I wasn't expecting floral arrangements to be that intense. Hey, are you doing all right now? I'll live. Might be time to see what you can get up to before your rendezvous with Elias. I nod my head, as if Taylor can somehow see me through the earpiece. Back to where it all began, the dust isn't so thick now, and while it doesn't look all too fabulous compared to the rest of the place, it looks a little less inviting. Hey, you remember that painting I mentioned before, in the foyer? On the second floor, yup. What about it? I think I can make out a few of the details better now, maybe even get a pic of it. I test my foot on the first step and angle my camera up to snap a photo of the frame. When the deed is done, I text it to Taylor. Here you go. If I had to hazard a guess, then this style of painting would be Impressionism. It was all the rage in the late 19th century, so it fit the timeline. Know anything about the subject? It's probably a portrait of one of the Gallagher ladies. What better way to flaunt wealth and status than by paying someone to preserve your likeness with expensive materials? I zoom in on the photo I took and study the details. I assume Taylor's doing the same. Those earrings and a necklace, and the size of that ring too. Damn! That's too rich for my blood. Probably the precious family jewels Elias was telling you about. Taylor snickers. I roll my eyes with a groan. Anyways, I'll look into this and see if I can get an exact match for who it might be. Keep hunting around. Roger that. I pick one of the many doors in the foyer and swing it open, wincing a little at how badly it needs to be oiled. Huh. Elias wasn't kidding when he said that some of the rooms would be in disarray. It definitely doesn't look as nice as the study. Bambi, no! I think this is a living room. Or a lounge. There's couches at least. The patterns have worn off them, and the material is torn open in a few places. I run my hand over the back of the love seat. Anything interesting in there? Aside from the couches, there is a rocking chair, a mounted deer head, a painting of a building, a grandfather clock, and a bookshelf. Elias hasn't worked his magic here, so it's a bit decrepit. I'll investigate everything else before I take a look at the books. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that, anyways. You know what? We're going to start from the right and work our way that way. Inspect the deer head. I walk over to the mounted deer head and peer into its soulless, long dead eyes. Taxidermy always freaked me out as a kid, and that never changed as I got older. Okay, so the one thing that freaks me the fuck out isn't normal taxidermy. It's the wet specimens. Also, anything that has to do with cats, it just makes me sad. The Gallagher men liked to hunt for sport, didn't they? A lot of them, but Elias. From my interactions with him, he probably couldn't even hurt a fly. I don't really see the point of killing animals for fun. Like, at least eat the venison, you know? I'm actually surprised I don't see any rifles mounted on the walls for decoration. How big are the antlers on that deer anyway? Really small. Nothing to write home about. Did you know that in the winter, deer, moose, and other mammals who grow antlers will just shake them clean off? Maybe they shot that deer in the spring when it was regrowing them. Huh. Thanks for the fun trivia. Alright, inspect the painting. Another impressionist painting, this time of a building's facade. It doesn't seem to be the manor though, so I wonder if this painting has any significance. Do you know if there are any secret passages in the mansion? I wouldn't doubt it since the Gallaghers had this place built just for them. But I wouldn't know where they are. They're a secret for a reason. Gee, thanks. I mean, he's not wrong. I try to lift up the painting just enough to see if there's anything behind it. There isn't. Look at the clock. I peer at the face of the grandfather clock, frowning when I notice that the hands are missing. I know analog clocks are a thing of the past, but I really like the aesthetics of a ticking clock. There's just something about them that's so cool. You think so? I feel like they're too inaccurate. If a gear stops turning or the battery dies out, then you have to manually set it again. Digital clocks hook up to the internet, so they don't have that problem. Taylor, you're missing the point. It's about the aesthetics. Taylor lets out a loud grumble instead of bothering to argue with me. Alright, finish looking. Hey Taylor, I've looked at everything else aside from the shelf, so I'm going to check out the books. Any ideas on where to start? Tell me what you're looking at. I scanned the spines for titles. There's an encyclopedia series, a dictionary, a thesaurus, a Bible, Bible hymns, an assortment of Shakespearean plays. I pull out the old tome of Romeo and Juliet and flip through the yellowed pages, or at least try to. The corners of the pages disintegrate in my fingers. Haha, bingo. I finally got a match on the painting from earlier. Oh yeah? Who is it? I slide the book in my hand back onto the shelf before hazarding a seat on one of the couches. Moments later, Taylor texts me an old black and white photo. Check it out. That's Mama Gallagher herself. Mildred loved to host tea parties and dances at the manor. Always made a grand show of the family bling while she was at it. I don't blame her. She's very beautiful. We are not into MILFs. We are into DILFs. I mean, what? Where did that come from? She was the envy of the land until the Gallagher curse killed her. Anyways, that's one mystery solved. Think there's anything else in here? I stand up and check the shelf again. Oh, there's a children's picture book here about clowns? Don't open that. Okay, nerd. Well, nothing else really calls out to me, so I'm going to the next room over. I pause momentarily. Over? Heh, roger that. Fucking nerd. I slip back into the foyer and stare down the other doors. A map of this place would really help right now. Well, here we go. All right, everybody, we're going to call it here. I don't really want to make these videos too long because my attention span and yours, not to mention most people have told me that 22 minutes is, well, 22 to like 25 minutes is usually ideal. I am very much interested in getting to know my himbo a little bit more and hopefully dying and getting married to him. God, I wish that was real life. What? Anywho, as always, everybody, keep it salty, like me on the daily. Keep it real, like my current coffee addiction. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.